listening to DORiS Radio.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP.
You're listening to DORiS Radio
DORiS
on
Radio,
WHCP.
WHCP 101.
What's up, guys? You're listening to DORiS Radio on WHCP 101.5. I'm your host, Marco Garcia, and I'm very excited today to be joined with Antone Ennels. What's up, my man?
Man, you know what it is, man. We in here trying to make it happen, you know?
Always.
Pleasure to be here, sir. Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you, my man. I'm excited to, get to know more about you and hear your story. And you brought some music in to share with us today. Tell us about the 3 songs that you're going to play for us.
Well, like the first song, of course, is going to be One Foot. Like I said, it's just based on a 7-year initiative or a 7-year hashtag 7-year initiative for us to have the same 7-year tax credit as black business owners, as black people, that everyone else that's an immigrant gets. And everybody might not use it, but if you're going to change the narrative, you have to show what's possible. Imagine how many more people would be interested in business if they knew when they turned 18. You know what I mean? They had a 7-year tax credit, to build their business. And even in that aspect, then we can get grant writers, and other forms of legal aid on point to help our people with the profit that comes from a 7-year tax credit, so we can actually hire people to help people get there. So that, that's what the first of those songs were, One Foot. Also from Rise of the New, I'm thinking radio friendly. Yeah, it's from Rise of the New. I have Still Waiting. Still Waiting, and that song is pretty much speaks on not just a man or a woman waiting for their partner to become the person that they saw in promise. It also speaks on our people waiting for us to become who we need to be. But it seems like we're just waiting on somebody else to do it. So it's a like sub undertone there. Rock ballad. Sure, you guys will love it. And the last one would come from which some of you guys already know, my twin brother, Jim Drama. He would kill me if I got on a station and we were doing something that was music related and didn't play any of the workout music. So we'll probably be playing either Push Up or EMF, which is elite MFers.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, but we got some fun. And yeah, we don't have anything for Embered Soulz yet, but you can check out Jermaine Anderson's live on Facebook, and we're kind of floating through with dinner music and jazz and stuff like that.
Embered Soulz. I'm excited because I know we're gonna have some tracks from y'all coming soon. That's the new band that you all have just started here at the Art Bar here in town. But first we're gonna rewind and get to know some of your musical influences. Just from the 3 songs that you brought with us today, you've got a rock ballad, a country song. You're pulling in from a different range of genres. So I want to go back and get to know a bit more about what was playing in the household when little Antone was growing up.
Oh, wow. Wow. It was, it started with like piano. We had a piano in the house. My grandmother raised me, Rev. McGatha Chester. I was so lucky. She was the type of woman that, she started Head Start. So everybody knew my grandmother and called her mom. But I was the one lucky enough to actually be there 24/7. And she always encouraged me to be creative in problem solving. I'd say situation solving because, situations have solutions. She kind of like saw from a young age that I was having issues with reading. My motor skills were fine, but I was what they call hyperactive. It was ADHD before they had medicine. All they had was switches, you know. But she found a different.
Use that too.
Yes, I got it every now and then. Trust me. You know, you test the preacher's patience. Let me tell you. But so her trying to figure out how to get me to learn. Just how she solved that issue for me. I've never been on a pill or a med for that in my entire life. And she watched me for so long, I know. Saw what would keep me still. Playing on the piano kept me still. Watching Saturday morning cartoons kept me still. So she had come to the conclusion that it wasn't necessarily ADHD. It was just that I wasn't being challenged, or I didn't have enough interest in
Something
things.
you can engage in.
So when I was having problems with reading, I didn't enjoy the books. I didn't like the pictures, the drawings. So in her infinite wisdom, she went out and got me a Superman comic book. This is where the name comics. Superman came from. Yeah, I'm a comics geek. I'm a nerd. You know what I mean? All the way. I love comics. So I got it. I lit up. I wanted to know, what does it say? She was like, there's a dictionary right there. Within the week, I was reading almost on a college level from that young. And then when I asked for another comic book, she said, oh, yeah, you can have one, but read that school book there first. And I'm like, C. Dick Run, C.J. Done. Can I have another comic, please? So she taught me how to read the school stuff by giving me something I truly wanted to read. Then I had the desire to learn how to read and to pronounce the words, and because I could visually see it. So this is how she did with all things music. My godmother, Dr. Hadamay Kai, she was the first black woman on the board of education in Dorchester County. She started the music department as we know it now. She kept me cultured. She'd always take me places. We go to opera, we go to theater. She had me in ballet. And hip hop, I was born in '72. Hip hop hadn't even started yet. So everything, because my grandmother was a preacher, there was going to be no Richard Pryor. There was going to be no Dolomite. There was going to be none of that in the Penitentiary 3 or none of that in the household. I was not allowed to listen to none of that. All I could get away with was pop. Pop music, whatever was top, you know what I mean, top 20, top 40, you know what I'm saying, Casey Kasem and all that. That's what she would allow me to listen to. So it was a lot of Olivia Newton-John.
Come on.
You know what I mean? A lot of musicals, Grease, you know what I mean? It was Billy Ocean, it was DeBarge, it was, you know what I mean, Janet Jackson, it was even going, you know, back, it was a lot of like Harold Melvin, Blue Notes. It was You know what I'm saying? Marvin Gaye, you know, I had a very involved grandmother, you know, and the only way I was listening to anything crazy was with the radio on, the headphones on, them great big ones. But she could still hear from my room. Turn that radio off. I hear you in there. So I didn't get into like R&B till Rick James. You know, my mom started pop showing back up, and she would come through with Rick James and you know, Prince and but in the same breath, I was listening to a lot of rock music because I had started in pop, and I couldn't go to Head Start because at the time that $13,000 a year was too much money to go there. So I started off in just elementary schools I went to St. Clair, but a lot of the friends that I had was white because I spoke the King's English. I had comic book language. And a lot of fellas back then, a lot of the brothers, they just like, man, why you talk like that? And I'm like, like what? I don't understand. You know, but that was me. It was what I was brought up in. You know, I didn't understand a lot of the feeling that was going on around me, even though I'm born and raised up top, Pine Street, you know, all day long. I was the dude on the skateboard with the pink chucks on and the checkerboard flag kick pushing on my soy. You know what I'm saying? So, right. So, I had connected with a whole different culture than my own because I saw that our culture was tainted. It felt fabricated. There were no, you know what I'm saying? All the real moments came from television. and suffering. So when people were just standing around on corners, I was just like, well, man, what is it in that? So, but from that rock background, White Snake, Poison, Aerosmith changed the game.
Oh, Steven Tyler's a god.
But what changed it for me was Aerosmith and Run DMC, Walk This Way.
Come on.
I'm like, oh my God, you can do this? So then I started, Run DMC, of course. When Run DMC dropped, Grandmaster Fast Furious 5, Fab Five Freddy, we was all on all of that. And I started rapping, not really to be a rapper at all. I was actually just writing poems. Because, I never had I never felt connection with my people. And when I was out, you hit that 7th grade, 8th grade, I'm starting to look for dates. You know what I'm saying? And just black girls didn't connect with me just because of my upbringing. It was awkward. So I'd be the poem writer and put it in the door and in their locker and wait. And then when I let them know who it was, they was like, oh, you're great. It's just what? You know what I mean? So, but then, Run DMC, Aerosmith, Walk This Way. And I started rapping from that point on, and I was a trumpet player as well. I'm a trumpet player as well. So I was in band. Band was my homeroom, chorus. Of course, played some in church. And but it wasn't until I really started rapping that I really started vibing with my culture again, because rap was still very informative back then. We didn't, the only way to know what was going on the West Coast was to listen to the West Coast albums. This is before internet. This is before, news could change the narrative of whatever you heard or saw. So we could get the real from what they were spitting and how they were spitting it. And then it became vice versa. So that's what, like, freestyling and battling, that was all about how many rhymes you had that you could put on any beat. It wasn't about coming off the top at first. And then with battling, you would just battle those songs that you wrote back and forth. And you didn't say nothing that you didn't do, because you get punched in the mouth for talking about somebody's mom. I mean, look, I respect freestyle battling and what it is today, but that's just not my thing. I'm not built for that. I don't have the temperament for it. Because it's just what we came up with. You know what I mean? I throw some bars your way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to, disrespect your mother or disrespect your life, or, you know what I mean? We all want to walk away from this. Why even play like that? Because kids that are younger, they don't understand the difference. You know what I mean? You sitting up playing GTA 5, you know what I mean? Your little son watching you. He don't know that they ain't real people, that you ain't just knocking down. He don't know the difference in the attitude. So then all of a sudden murder become nonchalant. It's just no disrespect. It's what it is. And but through playing and through rhyming, we've done some shows for Criss Cross when they were down here in Macy's Lane. We dealt with the Body Bag Boys. We done stuff with with Emo, Billy Bad, Big Ty, Pseudo Records, Sony Records. We done some stuff for Rockefeller Records. It's just on the rap tip. And then I started playing rap rock with a group called Abstract. And
when was this?
This was about 2000, 1999, 2000. We pack every place here. Every place. From Great Slates to 1,500 people you can't even get in the door. Salisbury Coyotes, Andromeda, Cactus Club, Ohio, the Attic up in Philly, New York, upstate New York, Elmira, Corning, Horseheads, place like that, and then been as far down south physically as South Carolina. But musically now, we were one of the first bands on iTunes. So we had started even show swapping down here. So we would take when MySpace, long time of course, but when MySpace got prevalent, we were recording some of our shows and taking pictures of our crowds. And then we would go to other bands in other states or cities and be like, look, these are our crowds. These are our home crowds. You give us a show up here with you, pay our gas. We'll give you a show down here with us, pay your gas. You sell your own merch. You make your own destiny. And that's how it started. Roxy from 98.9 back in the day. Yes. She was from Mind Control. We put them on. Half Link, you know what I mean, who's now singing with he would kill me dead. See, this is what happens when you're 49 years old. You're still trying to get it. You know what I mean?
Got it.
But we've done a lot of different things, and we make residuals still from the 2 albums that we did. You know, I mean, we might get.
Might still got some more.
Yeah, but we talked about it, but it also goes back to being responsible for what I say. I'm a grandfather. My son got 2 sons. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want my grandsons to listen to me being wilding and get the middle of the lesson, but not the whole thing. Not see how life will force you to mature.
You know, I think that's a great point. And as to something else that you had mentioned before with growing up with your grandmother, which you said was a great experience despite, you know, not having a father figure. Mm-hmm. But that is something that is prevalent within our community, especially, is the lack of, you know, the father figure. That's something you spoke on as well. And I just feel that, you know, that is a very rare opportunity, you know, it's important for kids to see the people that they look up to still following their dreams and still pursuing their dreams, so that way when they get to that point, they know that it's still possible for them.
Right.
And that's like, as you pointed out, that we don't
had to go on back to the well and get me another cup of that Eastern Shore well water, you dig? Just a little sip, cause you know the sip is strong, it'll carry you out of here if you ain't careful. I got 1 foot on dry land, I got 1 foot on the waves, I got 1 foot on topsoil, I got 1 foot in the grave, oh well, 1 foot in the past, and I got 1 foot present day. I'm always 2 feet from tomorrow, but still take my steps in vain. I've been waiting on the side of the road for a ride that's never coming, hitchhiking, trying to carry this load. I'm clothed in chains and suffering. Don't make it every day that I go, but if you don't go, don't get nothing. Lord knows I'm at the end of my rope, at the end of my hope, about to hit 100. I got 1 foot on dry land, I got 1 foot on the waves, I got 1 foot on topsoil, I got 1 foot in the grave, oh well, 1 foot in the past, and I got 1 foot present day. I'm always 2 feet from tomorrow, but still take my steps in vain. Got pain everywhere that I go, excuses, useless bluffing, trying to tell me what I already know. Been down this road and still got nothing. Feels like they hit me high when I'm low, swivel eyes when I roll, best believe they hunting. Lord knows I'm at the end of my rope, no hope, somebody better tell me something. I've got 1 foot on dry land, I've got 1 foot on the waves, I've got 1 foot on topsoil, I've got 1 foot